All right, UMAC fans, we are back with another senior interview. Today we have with us a softball senior student athlete from Crown College, Olivia Dols. We're really excited to have her. She is coming live to us from St. Cloud, where she is now home for online distance learning. She is a business administration marketing major, so we'll ask her a little bit of questions about her academics and softball, and I'm just really happy to have you here. So, Olivia, maybe tell us a little bit about how the transition to online learning has gone for you and what Crown has been doing to kind of support students through this transition period.
Yeah, for sure. So, online learning, it's fun because we get to learn with the professors and it's like a whole different thing that we can take into the future. That's what I keep telling myself is that this will help in the long run and that just learning how to adjust and how to have these group meetings over virtual learning and that kind of thing. We can take that into like meetings in the business world or just anywhere in the future that we can take that. That's what I keep telling myself is it's going to be okay. This is helping me in the
Yeah.
future. But yeah, so Crown has been really helpful, and we already had a really established like Canvas and ways of communication, emails always open with our professors. We've known that since day one of coming to Crown. Our professors are there for you. They want to help you. Just reach out to them and they'll be there. So already having that as a foundation was helpful.
Mhm.
So then moving into online learning, it's just an increase in emails, which is great because as long as their email is open, like everything is going to be okay because you can go to them with questions or hey, I didn't even understand this assignment, can you help me? And they're like, yeah, I'll send over some more details. So they're just super awesome about that. And yeah, so they're willing to help us when we need it, and they're giving us lenience when it's due, and then they're also still challenging us and making sure that we're learning and that we're not just like escaping with getting a good grade because they want it to go well. Like they're going to challenge us. So yeah.
That's good. That's really good news to hear that it's been a pretty good transition. I think it's really insightful that you can take this forward in the future. And I think a lot of working people right now are learning the same things who have never experienced it before. So you're going to have a leg up on everybody.
Yeah.
Have you been using technology, or how has your team been trying to stay in touch and kind of connected? Because this is obviously a transition for athletes as well in that area of your college life.
Yeah, it came so abruptly, especially for the spring sports that like we were in Florida when we found out that our season was over. So it just like happened so soon. And then we got back to campus and we were the first ones to know that, hey, you got to move all your stuff out because we might not be coming back. So being those first people, it was like our team was like we grew so much in those few days because it was like these could be the last moments, we don't know.
Mhm.
So just like already having that, and then yeah, we have a softball snap group chat, and we had that from the beginning. That's our way of communication. But every day we like send snaps of things that we're doing, or just like questions, or like anything. We have a team, we have a family, so it's been really cool actually. I didn't. You don't really realize how close you are until you're forced to like realize it. And this year especially, like we were just having so much fun, so it's a huge bummer. But yeah, so we used TikTok to make some videos, so we posted those on our social media. That was really fun. A couple of our girls were like, hey, send this, and then they were sending examples of like what it should look like. So it's cool that we can still build that team, that family. And even though I'm graduating, knowing that my team's going to be okay, like next year, like they're still close, they can still build those bonds as if we were out on the field or seeing each other every day. They can do that over technology. So, and I'm sure people are FaceTiming, I'm sure they're texting even on the outside, but that softball group chat, it's pretty cool. Every day I wake up to something and I'm like, oh gosh. But yeah, so that's our main way is Snapchat. But yeah.
That's awesome. I've seen a lot of softball TikTok slash videos with the throwing the ball or the scrunchie or the toilet paper or whatever it is. So
Yep.
it's good to hear that people are finding a way to, make light of the situation. So kind of
Yeah.
staying on softball for a little bit, tell us a little bit about what your team culture is like and, what kind of brings you all together and what it's meant for you to be a part of the Crown softball program.
Yeah, for sure. So one of the main reasons I chose Crown is because it was a Christian school, and I knew that the girls coming to Crown had been exposed to what Crown was all about, and that we were all playing for the same reason. So I think knowing that we all have the same reason for playing, it brings us closer as a team because it's not about outperforming the other person because you want to look better or because um, you want the playing time. It's like I'll wherever I'm needed, I'll go. And so that's kind of what our team is built on. And just like having each other through life. Okay, wait, can you repeat what was the original
Yeah, I'll
question?
just kind of what it's meant to you to be a part of that
Okay,
for,
yeah, so cool. But yeah, so basically knowing that I have these girls that have my back 24/7, not even just on the field, but off of the field too. Um, we have Bible studies because we can do that at Crown. Some of these public schools, like even in high school, it wasn't like we could talk about our faith or anything. So you didn't necessarily relate to the girls on a deeper level. We could outside of it, but at Crown, like you're called to do that because you're called to be a servant, you're called to be a leader. So actually, as a captain too, like I had the opportunity to build these bonds with girls and go deeper than just hey, like I see you around school and then I see you at practice. Like it's like, hey, what's going on in your life? Like you're different, you're acting different, or hey, I can tell something's up, like what's going on, and then we can get into those deeper relationships with each other. And so I think when I think of Crown softball, I don't even think of like the sport. I just think of like the family and what I've learned from these girls. Like what I've taken away is way greater than what I would have at any other school, I think. So yeah.
good. Yeah, so kind of building on that, is there a specific memory, game, something that you think kind of sticks out for you that you're going to carry with you once you kind of move forward from graduating from Crown?
Yeah. So this kind of has to do with this past Florida trip, obviously the last one that we went on. So we flew out Thursday and then we ended up coming back Monday. And we were set to come back like as soon as we could. So that would have been Saturday, but we got a couple extra days of playing because we couldn't get us all out on the plane until Monday. So we were lucky because we got 4 more games in just by chance. But anyways, so when we first found out though that we would be coming back. It was during a game, and coach was off talking to whoever he was on the phone with all weekend, and so then he came back and slowly each person was figuring it out like what was going on. So us seniors were like, this is it, like this is our last game. And this was on, I don't know, Friday or something, when we didn't know we would still be playing a couple more. But just those raw emotions of like, this is it, but let's have fun, like let's go out on a good note. So yeah, it was just so fun. Like I think of that game and I'm like, wow, like that's how I wanted to go out. And then we come back and we still had 4 more games. So then the emotions just go all over again in that last game when we knew it was the last game. But one of my co-captains, she went through a ton of work and had some parents help her and our coaches help, and they came up with like a senior little get together and they had a gift for us and some balloons and flowers. So we're down in Florida, and yeah, it was the worst case scenario, but at least us seniors felt love from our team and we got to go out on the right note. So that was my favorite memory because I was like, wow, she put in a lot of work to get the team to do this. So yeah.
That's really special, and I think we've heard a lot of teams that were really saying that those last games were the most important, special that they'll take with them. So making positive out of something that is really not very positive in nature. So that's really cool to
Yeah.
hear. I guess kind of building on memories, what are some other things about Crown or experiences that you're going to take away, maybe outside of athletics, that you think, you kind of hold close to you, or that you think are going to help prepare you now that you're getting ready to move on from being a college student?
Yeah, for sure. So I think one of the main things about Crown, and I knew this going into it, was that it was a small school. But I liked that because I knew that my professors would know me and they would care about me. So having them see me in the hallways and say, hey, why weren't you in class today? It was like, oh man, I can't skip that class anymore. Not that you would, but I think it holds you accountable and it forces you to like think, okay, like I'm paying to go here. So why not take advantage of that and learn as much as I can? So because it's small, yeah, the professors care about you, and you also build really strong relationships with people outside of athletics who still love to show up to your games because they know you and they care about you. So I think one of the main things I take away is like build relationships and build those connections. And it might not be with people that you ever thought you would be friends with or that you would make those connections with, but when you have a small school and you're all there to just get an education but yet have some fun, take advantage of that. I think one of the things too is like take advantage of every moment because you don't know when it's going to be taken. um, so yeah, even with my roommates, I met them my sophomore year and we moved in together sophomore year, and then we just finished out senior year, but we left for spring break not knowing. There was like some schools had already started canceling, but yeah, you just don't know like what to expect. So take advantage of the moments because they can be taken away. So I think that even in athletics too, like when you get to your senior year, you're like, okay, I love the sport still, but I'm ready to move forward, I think. But I think, especially for me, I was focusing more on like what's after graduation versus just enjoying the moment. And it sounds so cliche because people always say like, oh, just enjoy the moment, take like people always say it, but until you're like forced to do it, you're like, oh my gosh, like I would do anything to be back on the field. And my softball team and I, like we always joke our Monday practices were the worst practices in the entire world, but we would do 50 more of those. We would do 50 more hours of field work to shovel snow off our field. Like we would do it all just to have another game. And so I think just like realizing, okay, yeah, like take advantage of those moments. Like that's something I'll take with me from all of this. So
So it's a good, wise lesson to learn. In 10 years from now, you'll still be like, wow, I wish I could go back to waking up late, going to practice, go to class, go
yep,
home. So
exactly.
that's awesome. Looking forward then a little bit, what do you have planned, or what are things you're thinking about kind of next steps once you graduate?
Yeah, for sure. So I was planning on moving home anyways. That was kind of the first thing, just to move home, figure out my life. But now I'm home way sooner than I thought, which is okay. But I'm engaged, so
Oh,
that helps because I have
congratulations.
something to look forward to. Yes, thank you. So yeah, that's my future plans. It's a little bit hard right now because I don't think a ton of businesses are like, we need to hire because they're like, what's going on with this world? So
Yeah.
that's a little scary, just with my field, but everyone's field is feeling that. So I'm just gonna start looking for jobs, and I know there's people still hiring those, like they'll hire until they find someone. So that's the goal, is to just keep looking. But yeah, I don't know, everyone asks me. So my parents own a restaurant here in St. Cloud, so I was actually able to come back and help them, which has been really cool because I get to
Mhm.
spend time with them and then also just help them. But everyone asks me, they're like, so what are you gonna do? And I'm like, you know what, like I have no idea, but I feel so content with that. When I was back at Crown though, like before all this happened, I was so nervous. I was like, what am I going to do, But now I'm like, I can just breathe because there's so much time to figure it out. So,
Yeah, that's a good positive attitude. I think right now, I think a lot of people are like one day at a time. I think that's the way we're all getting through all of it. So that's
yeah.
really cool. I guess kind of wrapping up then, do you have like one, I think you kind of already shared a little bit, but maybe one thing you would leave with like teammates or friends, or any kind of last words or things people you want to thank, anything like your
Yeah,
final
for sure.
farewell kind of thing?
Yeah. Um, my team, they're awesome and I'm gonna miss them, and it's hard because we don't know, like there's so many what ifs of like what could have been, but we can't dwell on that. And I think as long as we take those friendships and those relationships into the future and we just build on those, and instead of looking at like what could have been, like what can there still be. And I think that's like something that I just have to keep telling myself in these moments, and everyone, same with coaches. I never really say it to my coaches. I don't think any athlete really does, like, thank you for everything, like, you just kind of expect that they know, like, you
Mhm.
appreciate everything they do. But even after all this, they texted us and they were like, hey, like, we appreciate you guys, we love you, and like, we miss you. Like, and just hearing that, it's like, like, your coaches, so like, they care about you so much, even at the D3 level. It's like, they care about you so much, this is their life. So just invest in your coaches, invest in your team, because I think we forget about the coaches so many times because we think it's their job, but like, it's their life too. So when this was taken away from them, it was just as bad
Mhm.
as it was for our team. So thank you to my coaches and my team, and just everyone in the UMAC for the good competition, and for being encouraging. And I know that none of this is easy for anyone, and especially you guys too. It's not like this was part of the plan, but it wasn't part of anyone's plan. But I think we just have to trust that there is a bigger plan. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a really positive way to think about it. So thank you so much for joining us.
yeah, of
Really
course.
wish you the
Thank you.
best in the future, but thank you.
Yeah, thank you.